Chapter 2 has 72 verses. So this is the second largest chapter. What's the largest chapter? How many verses? Very good, students. Excellent. And like 18, this is contents of the Gita summarized. Previously, we heard when we were going over Prabhupada's summaries, Prabhupada says Bhagavad-gita is finished in what chapters? 17. So he says chapter 18 is a re-summarization. So 2 and 18 go hand in hand. So let us begin. So the first part is verses 1 through 10, entitled, How Arjuna Surrenders. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears. Everybody say, Madhusudana.
Madhusudana.
Krishna spoke the following words. So this Madhusudana, who can tell me which incarnation Madhusudana refers to? What incarnation does Madhusudana refer to? Exactly. Hayagriva. Because when Prahlad was praying to Lord Nrsingadev, he mentioned this, that previously Brahma was attacked by two demons, Madhu and Kaitab. They came to attack Brahma. So Krishna came as Hayagriva and killed those two demons, Madhu and Kaitab. And so and who knows the color, the bodily color of Hayagriva? No. Gold. Golden colored. It's in the Bhagavatam. Golden color. Hayagriva. My son-in-law, when he was studying for the bar exam, he got a little Hayagriva deity and worship, because Hayagriva also represents, because besides killing those two demons, this Hayagriva spoke the Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma, because these two demons had stolen it. So Hayagriva spoke the Vedic knowledge to Brahma. So my son-in-law, he wanted good knowledge to pass the bar. So he had a little deity of Hayagriva that he had on his desk as he was studying. I guess it worked. All right. Krishna spoke the following words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said. So, why doesn't it say Krishna said? Why does it always say the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Why? There's a reason. Good, but there's a reason for that. In other words, yes, but there's another aspect to it. Okay, here's the thing. If Vyasadeva had put Krishna Uvacha, then somebody may not take Krishna to be God, like you said, and may think, oh, this is just some guy named Krishna speaking. But when he puts Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, now it's clear this is the authority, not just some guy named Krishna who lives down the block. He wanted to make sure that the reader doesn't make any mistake by putting Bhagavan, right? Just like, you might get emails or letters in the mail from so many. But if you get a letter that says, from the Department of Justice, that's it. Or if you get a letter from the IRS, this is a little different than getting, some letter for some campaign thing. Depending on who's speaking, you take it seriously. So Vyasadeva wanted to make sure, hey, wake up now. You're hearing Bhagavan, the supreme authority. My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? So, what does Krishna think of Arjuna's arguments? Thumbs up or thumbs down? The very first thing, right? The very first thing Krishna says, how have you become contaminated, Arjuna? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. What do we call the advanced people who know the value of life? They're called Aryans. Yes. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. Infamy means going down. Higher planets goes up. Infamy means going down. O son of Pritha, do not yield to this great degrading impotence. So, to call a Kshatriya or an athlete impotent is a great insult. You don't, if you get, say you get pulled over by the policeman, oh, you eunuch, why are you giving me a ticket? You think that's going to go over well? No. Someone who has a Kshatriya spirit does not want to be called something eunuch, impotent. No, you don't do that. That's not very smart. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Now, I have a question for my students. Because you've all heard or seen or read the Mahabharata, why would Krishna say this at this time? Why? Why would Krishna speak to Arjuna in this kind of language? Based on, you've read, you've seen Mahabharata. Huh? Yes. Especially what? Very good. Huh? Very good, but there's more to it. Can you go further? You said because of everything. What recent events just before this? Huh? No, just before the war. What took place just days? What does that mean? There you go. Who went to make peace? Okay, just to remind us, days before the battle, Krishna said, if I don't go and try to make peace, it'll look bad for me. So even though they are evil and even though I have to at least try. Krishna knew they weren't going to accept, but Krishna said, even if you still have to try. You can't just let people go to hell. If you know somebody and they're doing wrong, out of love and compassion for them, you have to at least try to point out their mistake. So when Krishna went, Krishna said, we want peace, we don't want to fight, but what? What's that? No. Krishna said, we don't want to fight, but not that Krishna's just going to concede. Krishna's not going to say, okay, we don't want to fight, go ahead. No. Krishna said, we don't want to fight, but, no, first he said, give us our half of the kingdom. And then he said, okay, at least give us, like you said, 5 villages. And what did evil-minded Duryodhana say? And now you know why he's evil-minded. Exactly. And did Karna say anything against? No. He also. So that's why Karna is also evil. He backed that evil Duryodhana. He backed him. He didn't say anything. Yes, I think Krishna's saying the right thing. No. He stuck with his guru, his best friend. And when Krishna came privately to Karna and said, now you know you're Yudhishthir's older brother. Why don't you join them? And Draupadi will approach you like a wife. And what did Karna say? No. My allegiance is with Duryodhana. Okay? That's why I don't like him. He had his chance. He had his chance. Krishna offered him everything. No. He thought he was more pious than Krishna. He had his chance to surrender to Krishna, but he didn't. He felt, no, my allegiance to Duryodhana, that's a higher principle. But Bhagavad 1866 says, give up all varieties of religion. That's Karna's fault. Karna thought he was more religious than Krishna. Krishna is telling him, join your brother. No. He thought, no, I will do the higher thing. I will surrender to Duryodhana. Okay. Good luck. Bye-bye. Dead. Who killed Karna? Arjuna ki jai. Very good.
Prabhuji.
What?
So I heard that Karna, he was offering every morning to the Surya that please, he wanted to find out who is mother, father, and all that. He was giving the charity to the people and all that. So he was thinking Duryodhana as his kind of person, but why instead of why he has asked from the Surya Bhagwan or anybody, why he has to go another person to give charity to find out
Why?
Why?
I don't know why.
But Duryodhana, he's thinking Duryodhana is the one which I support. I have to support.
Because Duryodhana was the one who gave him a kingdom, gave him everything. Before coming to Duryodhana, he had nothing.
Now, why he has to, in another side, why he has to offer something in order to find out his mother or father?
Because that's his karma. That's his karma. That's all.
So in another way, I'm thinking is another way, he's not thinking that Duryodhana as like although he was, because of the in front of everyone he respected him for
Yeah.
that is the reason for he has to do something.
Yes.
But in another side, he's thinking internally something different. But why mine is such way is giving that way?
Because by your association, that determines how you think. So who is he associating with? Duryodhana, right? Shakuni. All his association is bad. If you started to associate with bad people, you become bad. Why do you think Prabhupada created ISKCON? So that we would have good association. Because any of us, if we start to associate with bad people, before long, you'll become bad. Any one of us. Any one of us. That's why association is so important. And parents, your children going to college, watch who they associate with. Because if they associate with the wrong crowd, one day they're going to come home, hey man, what's up? Do your best. Stay on top. Check their cell phones. Check their cell phones. Watch what they're watching online. Check. You try your best. Try your best. And besides trying, what should you do? Pray. Pray to Krishna always. My dear Lord, please protect my children. I still do that. I still pray for my daughter, son-in-law, and grandson. Every day I'm praying for them. Please, Krishna, protect them.
I heard on Radharaman temple.
Yes.
So one girl was wearing one watch that it can text and all that.
Yes.
Like what's called Apple Watch.
Yeah.
They said grandma was telling that it's good for them because when they have emergency things.
Yes.
They do it. But if you give them like a phone, really phone, it can be controlled by someone, right? That phone.
Yes.
So-
All technology can be used for good and for bad. All technology. Good luck. Pray to Krishna for your children at all times. Always pray. Okay? Let's get back to Bhagavad-gita. Okay. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet now they are standing before us on the battlefield. So, Arjuna is still in the confused state. Now comes the turning point of Bhagavad-gita. Here is the turning point. Everybody together. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. On this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So this is the turning point. First thing, I mentioned this last Saturday at that private program. The first thing is to recognize your fault. And that's the hardest thing. To be able to recognize I'm doing something wrong. Because what does false ego dictate? I'm not doing anything wrong. The problem's with them. I am... No. Self-introspection means, just like Parikshit. After Parikshit put the dead snake, soon after he said, you know what? That wasn't really a good idea. He recognized that he had made a mistake. So that's the mark of a intelligent person that is able to recognize, you know what? I've made a mistake. I'm wrong. So somebody, I won't mention their name, running for office, even when he makes a mistake and it's put before him, he still denies. I didn't. And then he tries to say the direct opposite. And even they show him, no, you said this. I didn't say that. That is wrong. When you make a mistake, the first thing is you confess, you own up to it. Yes, I did this wrong. That means you have to be humble. But the demon will never admit, I did anything wrong. What is that verse in chapter 16? I am perfect, powerful, happy. That's the mentality of a demon. Perfect, powerful, but the devotee thinks, I'm lower than a blade of grass. Just see how opposite the devotee is. I'm lower than a blade of grass. Not that I'm perfect, powerful. No. You can always tell a devotee by the mentality of the speech. And you can always tell a demon just by listening after a few minutes. Okay, yeah, there's a demon. Very simple. Devotee, you can tell kind of words come out. Very little I. Devotee, it's Krishna, 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 Krishna. Let us continue. So he's admitting, I'm confused. And he recognizes, yes, I'm acting this way because of miserly weakness. He's admitting. Now he wants Krishna to be his guru. Tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I'm your disciple. That clear again. He's accepting Krishna not as his friend, but as his guru. Do you go up to Hiran and say, I'm your disciple? No. He's your friend, right? You're not going to accept him as guru, are you? Maybe you should. I don't know. But generally, you don't do that with your friend. Correct? Generally, you don't do that. But in this case, it's the turning point of Bhagavad-gita. He's recognizing, Krishna, you act as my guru.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I have one question. Any more incidents about Krishna, Arjun? I know Arjun understood which way. I mean, any instance you have, Krishna show to Arjun some extraordinary thing, why he is accepting.
Why?
What extraordinary thing he showed to Arjun? Why he has to surrender?
Well, him and Krishna went to see Mahavishnu. When that Brahmana, the 10th son, died, and Arjuna promised the Brahmana, I will protect your next child. And Arjuna said, and if I can't protect your next child, I will enter the fire. Because 9 of the babies were taken away. They died and they went away. So Arjuna said to this Brahmin, the next time your wife is giving birth, call me, I will protect you. But as soon as the baby was born, it flew up into the sky. So Arjuna promised that if I can't protect, I will enter the fire. While this was going on, Krishna was in his palace and he saw what was going on. Krishna was smiling. Krishna is not going to let Arjuna commit suicide. So Krishna came and said, no, Arjuna, don't do this. Come with me. So Krishna called his 4 horses, Balahaka, Megapushpa, Saibya, and Sugriva. And they have different colors. And the chariot came, and they went to Mahavishnu. So Arjuna, not only this, Arjuna saw many things with Krishna, while Krishna did so many things. Okay? He knew. But at this point, he's covered over. He's forgetting. At least up until this point, now he's, okay, Krishna, you kindly instruct me. Because they're acting like equals, but occasionally Krishna shows him, you have the most unique friend. Okay? Let's continue.
Confidential.
Please instruct me. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth, with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. O descendant of Bharat, so who's that?
Arjun.
No. Who's Sanjaya talking to? Dhritarashtra. Gotta pay attention. At that time, Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So Krishna smiling means nothing to worry about. Everything is under control. Generally, when you go to the temple, is Krishna smiling? So that means everything is going to be good. Everybody chant the Maha Mantra.